Good evening, IL family, and welcome back to your Inclination Life broadcast here with Lady Timiel / Coach Timiel, where we talk about positive living via simple truths. I want to welcome you back in and just want to say happy Monday. I hope that you are enjoying all the beautiful weather, depending on what area you're in. In my area, we're getting beautiful weather, more like spring-like temperature. So I pray that it has been a good start of the week to everybody. So our topic on tonight is when it gets tough, keep going. And this came about for me. You know, there's always something in my life that brings about our topics, but this came about for me because I was in a store, and you know how the cashiers, they do their normal greetings, and some of them wait for your response, and others, you know, they're just going through their dialogue. But this particular cashier, she looked at me, and I had a long day, and she said, well, how are you doing? And I said, well, honestly, I'm tired, but I got to keep going. And in saying that, she was like, well, you know what? You're absolutely right. You know, you do have to keep going. And in saying that, it sparked something in me. It made me think about a lot of times the fatigue that we experience in life. It made me think about the fatigue that we experience when we're going about doing things, whether it's working on things, whether it's serving in a position, whatever it is. It made me think about how easily that we grow weary in the things that we do. And so in talking about that, I was reading a message by John Piper. This message was written back in 1983. And in this message, he talked about the limited enthusiasm that we as believers often have. He talked about how we often can have great joy when we begin to start on something or we begin to work on something, but how quickly does that joy fade away? So think about it this way. Have you ever started something in life, whether it was maybe you served in a ministry position, maybe you served in a new job position, or you got a new role, or whatever the case was, and you were so excited about it, you were so enthusiastic, you were ready, you were set to go, you believed that you were going to impact lives, you were doing something in life that was going to matter. And then it's like it went from the mountaintop down to the valley, and all of a sudden the joy and the enthusiasm that you once had, it began to fade away. And it may have been from circumstances, it may be from things that poured in, but whatever the case was, that joy, that excitement, that zeal that you originally had, it begins to fade away, and it begins to go to another place. And so we get tired, is what he was saying in this message, about even wonderful things. See, in life, even when we're doing good things, great things, things that bring us joy, we grow weary in it. And oftentimes when we get to this place in life, our first response is we want to throw in the towel. Our first response is I've made it halfway and I want to stop. And so I'm just going to quit. And as that cashier was asking me on that Friday night, I was working on something in the midst of a project, and I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I wish I could just go sit down right now. But in that, I'm glad that I came right behind that statement of telling her that I was tired, but I've got to keep going. And that's the attitude that we have to have when we're doing the good works, when we're doing the good things that God has placed inside our lives, inside the things, whether we're serving our families or serving in our churches or our communities or on our jobs, wherever God has you positioned on tonight. You've got to be reminded that even when you get tired, even when you say, I have had it up to here, that you've got to keep going. You've got to believe that there is a greater good in what you're doing. There's a greater purpose in what you're doing. And if you're working on something that God has given you, and you're halfway to the end, you're halfway to the goal, and you're seeing the finish line, or you're seeing that you're about ready to reap that harvest, but you're ready to, why throw your hands up knowing that you have it in sight? So let's not be those people. There was another example he gave with, he talked about how even when we let's say go on vacation and we go to beaches and stuff, and the first night we get there, we're so excited, we're ready to see the sunset, we're ready to experience everything, but by the time we stay there a few days, that zeal, that thrill of seeing that is gone. We don't even notice it anymore. We're thinking about, oh, the vacation is over, it's time to go home. So that shows you how limited, because most of us, when you look at a vacation, we're excited, we're ready to go, we're like, I need this thing. But how quickly do we lose the beauty of that very first day when we were just so excited, so enthused, just taking everything in? The air is different, the way that we're breathing, the way that we're looking is different, and how quickly do we lose that zeal? And so I put here, we must remember that the change desire that we often see in our own selves when we begin to lose the thrill, when we begin to lose the joy about things, that thing that thing that's changed inside of us isn't a shift in the inner power. So it's not a shift in the power that God has given us to do the things that we desire to do in life, and those things that he's given us in life. It's not that there's a difference in the power from within you. There's a shift in your mindset that you begin to think that, oh, I don't want to do this. Now, I'm not saying to you on tonight that if you want to shift from one job to another, or you start a project and you figure out, oh, it's not for me and I'm going to go do something. But I'm talking about those things that you know that you should be doing in life, and they've gotten a little hard for you. They maybe not be as easy as they were. The same emotions, the same feelings that were associated with it may not be there for you. And you're like, I'm just tired. It's getting hard and I'm ready to give up. I'm talking to you on tonight to remind you that when it gets hard, to keep on going. And so I put here a question for you on tonight. If you're this person that's in this situation, or if you face this situation ahead, we all face this at some point in our lives, and not just in our lives. It's like a part of our process. We face this fatigue line that we get to, and we're like, I'm done. But when you face this line, the question that I want you to ask yourself is, why have I lost the thrill? And has something happened? Has something happened around the situation? Has something happened in my life? Has other things come into my life that are beginning to cause me to think this way? Is there someone that is causing me to think this way? Is there a situation that just happened in the midst of this and is causing me to think differently? Every time that something gets hard in our life, it is not a reason for us to flip the script, throw in the towel, and say, I'm done. Sometimes it is just the growing pains of what we're going through. Sometimes that little journey that we're on is going to get tough, but we must keep going. We cannot throw in the towel. And this reminds me of a very familiar scripture on tonight, Galatians 6, and I'm going to read 9 through 10, but it primarily comes from Galatians 6 and 9. And I'm reading this from the Message Bible on tonight. And it says, so let's not allow ourselves to get fatigued doing good. At the right time, we will harvest a good crop if we don't give up or quit. Right now, therefore, every time we get the chance, let us work for the benefit of all, starting with people closest to us in the community of faith. And so what we've got to know on tonight, we've got to know that when we're doing good, you've heard this scripture over and over, be not weary in well doing. When you're doing good, when you're doing the things that is in your heart, when you're doing the things that you desired in life, don't you know that when you desire something in life and God begins to open up the door for you to walk towards that thing, he never said that it was going to be an easy journey. He didn't say that it was going to happen overnight. He didn't say that everything that you would experience in your life, there are things that God is going to bestow upon you, and they're going to feel almost like he just laid it in your lap on tonight. But then there's going to be other times in life where you're going to go towards something by faith when you step out there and go towards it as God says it, and it's not going to always be easy. It's not going to always feel good. But at the end of it, don't you get weary. Don't give up on the good things that you are doing in life. And I love how this B portion said, because it says in the Message Bible, every time that we get a chance. So that means even when we're tired, no matter what we're feeling, no matter what we're going through, no matter what we've experienced, no matter what it is, every time that we get a chance, and that's likely every time that we wake up each and every day, we have an opportunity to continue to work towards that good, because he said in due season, you will reap a harvest. And we cannot always approach it like, well, when is the harvest going to come, God? But we should be excited about the things that God has given us in life, the things that God has allowed us to experience and work through and go through. And so I want to encourage you on tonight, for that person that is listening to this and you feel like you're in a place where it has gotten tough and you are saying, I'm done. I'm ready to take a break. I don't want to continue. I don't want to keep going this way. I want to encourage you to be just like I was when I was talking to that cashier. I'm tired, but I gotta keep going. I want you to get, I gotta keep going attitude. Finish it. Finish it. Finish strong. The power within you has not changed. And so you have all the strength you need from the inside. Pull from the inside out and keep going. If it's feelings, Pull from the inside out. If it's your mindset, pull from the inside out. Whatever it is, you just keep going and keep doing the good that you're doing. I hope that this has encouraged you on tonight and that you'll tune back in with me next week as we have another conversation about positive living via simple truths. Have a blessed night. Good night.